Hi people! Today's review is gonna be in English because as far as I know this book hasn't been translated, so yeah, it makes sense it's in English. The book is by Mackenzi and it's called A Gentleman's Guide to Vice and Virtue. And I have to say that I absolutely love this book. It touches so many delicate topics and it does so in a very sensitive way and in a way that you can sympathize a lot with the different characters that are brought in this book. So, first of all, we have Monty. He's the son of a very high ranking member of the society. And he is a bit of a maverick, and he likes to go to parties, he likes to do whatever he wants to do. He has a big mouth, sometimes he speaks without even thinking what he's saying. He likes to be drunk half of the time, just no cares in the world. And he has a bit of a problem, he likes guys. Yeah, I mean, so what? Yeah, exactly. But in England, on that time, when two guys were in love or like each other, they were accused of being sodomites. And so, following this line of thought, we find that Monty's father isn't very proud of who his son is, or the relationships he has, and wants to convince him that he has to like women, and he has to abandon this kind of life he's having. We have his best friend who's called Percy, and he's a guy of color, he's a black guy, and also in all England they were looked, like badly upon. They had fewer chances to get jobs, and they were just like, hey, look, a Negro, like very despective relationships. So it's another topic that's going to be rough during the book. And we have the sister, and we find that also in all times women cannot think for themselves, and the only schools they could go to were those kinds of schools where they were taught how to dress properly and how to sew and how to sing and how to be perfect wives. And this girl here, she wants to be a doctor, so she is having a rough time because women cannot think, cannot do the same things man can do in that time. So yeah, that's the third topic that this book is going to touch. We have these three people go into a tour because Monty's father decides that if he can cure his son, he is going to offer him the chance to do a tour through Europe where he can see other ways of life, other cultures. He has no right to party or to get drunk. He only is there to see things and to live life to the fullest. And once he gets back, he has to conform to the rules of society, like women, and just be the person he is supposed to be. And during this travel, something happens, and he steals something that is a very important thing, and they're going to be ambushed and attacked by the other guys in the book in order to get it back. So, without spoiling anything more about the argument, I have to say that I love this book because the writing is phenomenal. Everything is very fluent, and the characters and everything, it's so greatly described. I mean, it's amazing. And I also love that there are some ironic and sarcastic things here and there that makes you laugh, and I love that one. Also, the relationship between the main characters, Monty and Percy, that was awesome. I love it. I mean, you can feel how they feel and you can believe that relationship. It's not some insta-love crap. It's real. It's touching. And you can see where one begins and the other ends, and you can see what binds them together and what makes them be separate. So I love this book in that sense. And also I love the character of the little sister who wants to be herself and to think for herself and take her own decisions. And I think that there's going to be a second book in the series that's going to center on her, so yay! I love it. Also, as I say in the topics it touches, it talks about homosexuality and also the fact about being who you are and not who your parents or society expect you to be. So it also talks about how sometimes having all these expectations about who you have to be, why you have to be, and with whom you have to be, sometimes it makes you feel like you are less than you should be because you are not being right to the expectations that everyone has of you. And I love how in this book just stripes everything down and says, hey, you are who you are, you're free. You're enough as you are. And if you like boys and if you like girls, so what? And I love how this develops in the book. I also loved how Percy, who, as I say, is has black skin. I love how it makes you see how bad we sometimes, or society sometimes, treat other people just based on something as superficial as skin color or looks or whatever. And it makes you think about how these people might feel being confronted in a world that's more or less the same, or has more or less the same rights or the same canons of beauty. You have to be slim, or you have to be well-built, or you have to be white or blonde or green, I don't know, whatever. And it made me feel a lot in that sense too. And as I say, the path of the little sister when she wants to be something that seems impossible for her to be, because that's she wants to be a doctor, and that's something only men can be. And how she feels like she's trapped in there because she has to be exactly like his brother, what others expect her to be. She has to be perfect, she has to be demure, she has to be silent, she has to be beautiful, she has to be this little flower to be out in this, for displaying her beauty and nothing else. So I love how this book treats everything. And I love how it all begins with a travel around the world, around Europe, and how they're ambushed, and they are doing something entirely different. And I love how these characters are confronted with decisions about what they should do and what they want to do, but not because anyone is expecting them to choose one or the other, but just because they feel like they have to do something and not the other thing. And I love the characters they find along the way. The bad guys, why are they like they are? I mean, we find a couple of brothers who you think they're bad, but you see why they are like that. And we find other secondary characters that are so well developed that I love them. And I also there's something funny here, because there was a moment in the book when people talk a strange language, and I was like, oh, that's Catalan! That's incredible! I have never seen in an English book, I think, I never seen someone speak Catalan, and as a Catalan myself, that was amazing, and it was very, very, very good, great, well written. So yeah, it was amazing. And then in the book, they travel to Barcelona, and the parts that are described in the book, it's amazing because yeah, it's like Barcelona, and I can express how much I love it, and the fact that the author knows that being from Barcelona or being Catalan is not the same as being Spanish. So that was amazing for me. It was like, wow! Yeah, I love that. Also, I think that this book is very, very, very great. If you like Victorian books with a lot of sarcasm that makes you question things, that are funny, that they have like this merry band of brothers who are just so opposite as to what society expects them to be in that moment and in that era, you're going to love this one. I mean, really, it's amazing. It has a lot of twists in the plot, and it ends up being a tropey book, you know, where this group of people just end doing a lot of adventures and have to dabble a lot and do a lot of things, and I love it. And I love how the characters keep evolving, how they are so perfectly written that they can be someone who is sitting next to you, because they're so flesh and blood. It's amazing. I love this author. I never read anything about her before, but now I have to read the other book she's written, and I read somewhere that she's going to write 3 Lucky books. So yeah, lucky. Tom Hallinson fans are gonna be so happy, I know I am. Okay, thank you people for seeing my review. Bye!